Here I am. Hello and welcome to DWIT 3D Canada on this fine Sunday night. Welcome everybody. My sound may be a little odd. Let me check and see. Welcome to DWIT 3D Canada. Yeah, the sound's a little odd. My main mic here, the receiver, the transmitter has been charging all week, but it had no charge on it, which is really weird. So I'm using the mic in this little overhead camera right here. You should be able to hear me fine though. Everything should be good. So I want to say hello to everybody that's here already. Jerry, you were first in. No surprise there. Hello, hello. And then the Ranch Kids here, and we have Nick, and Betty Boop, and Tuxedo Brent Ferguson, David Walton. A little off, but okay. It's good. Okay, good. I'm gonna, in about a half hour, I've plugged the transmitter back in, hopefully in about a half hour, so I can switch back over to that one. It'll be a little cleaner sound, and hopefully it's good. For some reason it didn't charge. It's really weird. Anyways, what we are doing tonight is something a little different. We're sort of switching up gears a little bit, and depending on how things go this evening and what I can get accomplished through the week as far as ventilation goes, my goal is to actually be burning something on this laser. But for tonight, we're going to have a look at this, which I introduced last week on the stream. This is the Monport 40-watt CO2 laser, I think also known as the K40. Monport did send me this laser along with a chiller that is right behind me that goes with the laser. So they did send this to me for displaying on my channel to all you fine folks. There are links in the description to anything you need to know about this. There's discount link if anybody is interested in this at all. I have been doing a lot of YouTube watching on this over the last week or so, and I've heard everything from phenomenal stories about this to people that weren't happy with this particular laser. I'm going to be the judge of whether I'm happy with it and what I think of it, and all my opinions are my own, which is why I said to them, I will do the videos, but I want to do them live. If I run into any difficulties, if I have any issues, I don't want them to be edited out. I want everything to be live and honest and upfront, which is what my channel is all about. So here we go. Ranch Kid, where did I get that opening music? Jerry knows. I forget the name of the program. It's AI created. I'm going to do another one. I want to change it up a little bit, but it's all AI created. The beauty of it is I cannot get copyright strike from it because it's original music. So there we go. There we go. Suno.com. There it is. And Jexter66 is here. Hello, hello. And I think I'll just say hello to everybody as they pop in. It looks like we have about 15 people watching right now. So as you saw last week, if you were here, we just took the main box off on this one. This is double boxed. We took the main box off because we had a little bit of an issue with a delivery guy that delivered it, kind of tossing it. Even though it said fragile, handle with care, breakable glass, etc. I have a feeling it's going to be fine. I'm pretty sure it's well packaged inside, but we'll see. We're gonna pop this out of the box, and then we're going to talk about some of the features of it. This is the Monport K4 or 40-watt Pro version of their CO2 laser. We'll talk about what makes it the Pro version versus the non-Pro version. As I say, I've been watching videos that are anywhere from 2 to 4 years old on this, and the older ones were not the Pro version. They have made some improvements on these newer models, So this should be fun. Know nothing about lasers, but want to learn. Awesome, awesome, David. That's good. I know nothing about CO2 lasers. I do have right here, we do have a diode laser. It's a 40-watt diode laser, S1 from XTool, which I actually did some stuff on yesterday on this one. You can see here it's the 40-watt diode head. I had a job yesterday to do on this, and this is a phenomenal diode laser. But there are limitations to the diode laser that this will do, and there's limitations to this that this will do. So they're going to kind of complement each other. So we'll get into that as we go. I have cleared a nice big spot here. This chiller is going to go on the floor beside the bench, and the CO2 laser is going to sit right here beside the diode laser, and we're going to tie into the same ducting system for venting that we have for the diode laser. So yeah. So without further ado, let's get this unboxed. I'm going to do a lot of talking as I unbox it because I'm probably down the road going to just make a more of a shorter video of this, of the unboxing. So I'm going to do a lot of just talking about what we're opening, what I'm seeing, what I've been reading about, what I've been learning about, and then I'll answer some questions as we go, but I may leave a lot of the questions and comments till after I get the unboxing all done. So there we go. Brent Ferguson, you have a laser pointer. Well, that's good. There's a start. You've got a laser. So I'm going to pop this open. Now, my overhead camera is a little bit too small or too close to give an overhead overview of opening this, as you can see right there. But I can pull. Oh, it's frozen. My overhead camera is frozen. Look at that. Let me just go ahead and get that unfrozen. Go. That should be unfrozen now. It is. It is unfrozen. Okay, so we're just going to pop this off. As I say, we've taken the outer box out. Can we get any more of this in that frame? Yeah, there we go. Without knocking the box off. This is a big box. It's a big, heavy box, and that overhead camera is very close down here. But you're going to be able to get an idea of what we see here. So first thing we'll do is pop that off, and you can see the laser right in here. There's a bag of accessories we'll have a look at in a minute here. And it is sort of shrink wrapped and then protected on each side with foam. So we'll get rid of all this foam. I have watched many unboxings of this, so I have a little bit of heads up as to what to expect. And there we go. And to make life easy for me, because I am a one-man show here and this is a fairly heavy machine, I'm just going to slice the side of the box open. And we're going to kind of slide the laser off of the box onto the workbench. There we go. And pull this over this way. And you can kind of see in the upper corner what I'm doing. Slicing the corrugate cardboard off. And throwing it back down on the floor there. And I think I'll do... No, I think that's okay. So I think what I can do now is I can probably get a half decent grip on the laser now. Oh, he's heavy. And I'm just going to get it started out of the box very carefully because we do have a light CO2 tube in here. There we go. And I'm going to lift this, slide the box out of the way. There we go. We're going to gently place that down on the bench. And look at this. We have it on the bench. Except for the squeaking on the wood. Hey, non-fam. We have it on the bench. I'm going to throw this other camera on here. There we go. This gives you a good view of the back. We have some water hoses for the cooling, ventilation, a few other things. So let's leave it at this view for now. Let's see. How's this camera going to work? Let's just see what view we get on this guy. It's not bad either. I kind of have this camera. I wanted to get the best camera setups for doing this unboxing here. So hopefully the couple different angles I have are going to work fine. There we go. So first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of all of this shrink wrapping around it. I don't see any visible physical damage on it from the careful handling, quote unquote, that was done during the delivery from the wonderful boys in brown with UPS. So that's a good sign so far. There we go. There we go. So now one question I've been asked, and I asked myself, of course, is what's the difference between, say, you have a fiber laser, you have a CO2 laser, and you have a diode laser. It's basically just the wavelength of the light and its ability to cut. Fiber lasers are amazing. They cut into steel. Different wavelength of light than a CO2 laser, different wavelength of light than a diode laser. So, yeah. Okay, let me open up the accessory bag, see what we have, and we do have an instruction manual to follow here. Whoops, I just dropped an important part, which is the This is just a little focusing tool for focusing the laser distance. Oh, this is a tube of silicone sealant. I'm going to assume that's to do something to do with the water system for cooling. We have our instruction manual. We have our USB to USB-C cable. This particular laser does come light burn compatible. There's a hose clamp for the ducting on the back here. I believe this is a 4-inch duct that we need for this. And then we have some, this just looks like some silicone tape of some sort. Let's see, this is 2-sided tape. Okay. And then we have a, looks like just a sample piece of acrylic, blue acrylic for sample cutting. Our power cord, and that's pretty much all that came in this kit. Oh, and a tiny little wrench. That's probably going to be for loosening to something. And obviously it's for loosening something, so there we go. Nothing inside. Oh, we got a whole bunch more stuff inside. So gosh, let's just see. Here, switch back over to this. And as you can see, I can bring this camera a little closer now. Whoops. We've got some packaging inside. Just going to get rid of all this foam packaging. We have some goggles, laser safety goggles. Those are pretty nice ones compared to what I got with all my other diode lasers. That's nice with a nice little case. I have a few pairs of those, as you can imagine. We'll have a look in this box in a minute and see what that is. Some more unpackaging here. Okay, another one here, and then we have some of our ducting. So this is the 4-inch duct. I'm going to be tying into the 6-inch ducting that we have on the other fiber, not fiber laser. I wish I had a fiber laser. On the diode laser we have over here. Let's pull this forward, and we have another piece of foam here. And there's our gantry, and there is our laser head. One of the main differences, this being the Pro version, the older versions that I've seen some of the videos on are not using a linear rail, rather they're using like a big aluminum style rail with wheels. This is using a linear rail, which is extremely well lubricated. I don't know if you can see here, we've got a lot of excess lube going on there, but I guess it's better too much lube than not enough lube. Let's see, it looks like it's got decent movement. And then we're sliding on rods for the y-axis. We're sliding on some rods. Okay, well, and then we have our cooling hoses. So I'm going to turn this around slightly. Oh, in this box here, it looks like we have, I think I know what this is. And this won't be being used necessarily, but they do include this. And this is, in fact, I believe it's a water pump. Yeah, so this is a water pump. This is just a little, almost looks like a little aquarium pump. Because we have the chiller that was included with this unit, we're not going to be using this pump. Rather, we're going to be using a chiller to pump the water to keep the CO2 tube cooled. So, yeah. So we won't be using this water pump. We'll just kind of set this aside. Maybe I can use this in our little aquarium upstairs. We'll see. Anyways. That's it for the inside. So here, let me grab this camera over here and give you a view of the inside of this. Now, the other question that may come up is air assist. Now, this does have air assist, and it's got an air assist pump that's going to be built in over on this side. We're going to lift up this cover and have a look in. But here we are in the inside of it. There's going to be some packaging plastic that's going to come off of the bed here. It is a 8 by 12 inch burn area. It's not a huge burn area, but for what I have planned to show and test and use on this, being some acrylic products, it's going to be plenty big. So here is the laser head right here, and you can see the air assist hose coming in right here. There is our red diode, our red laser for pointing, and everything is supposedly adjusted. They've hot glued all the adjustments on the mirrors and on the laser head. The mirrors are pre-aligned and hot glued in place, and then also in the back we're going to see that they're pre-aligned, and we have a little LED strip right up here inside for lighting the inside of the chamber. And so I'm going to go ahead and undo a packing screw here on this cover here underneath the electronics. We're going to have a look inside there. Sorry for the shaky camera work, but hey, we are live. Live, non-edited, unedited. The moment of truth. Turn around and lift top cover to see tube is not broke. Yes, we're going to do that. We're going to have a look at the tube and see if the shipping did any damage to it. So here, let's go ahead and turn this machine around. Throw this box over here. Get this out of the way. Actually, let me take a quick look first inside this instruction manual, see if there's anything I need to do. As I say, I'm brand new to these lasers. So I am learning this as you guys that have no CO2 laser experience are learning as well. And I know that Jerry and a few people out there have experience with these lasers. So on the top, we have our temperature gauges. So this top gauge on here, oh, let me close this so you can kind of see what I'm pointing at. Or actually, I wonder if I can get the overhead camera. To show that part of it. There we are. If I just slide this over a bit more. There we go. So we have our temperature gauge up here. Up here is the, let's see, this is our cooling water temperature. And I believe up here is just our overall laser temperature. It does say temperature LCD display power, and this is temperature LCD display water. Okay, we have an emergency stop button here, which is activated right now. And here's where we control our laser power, a combination of this and in light burn to control the power of the laser. I have learned that we never run, this is the ammeter, we never run a CO2 laser at 100%. And here we have our on and off button. I'm going to leave that in the off position for when I plug it in so I don't accidentally power it up. Hey, Andrew Humphrey. Why did you not change cameras right there? And there we are. Ha! Okay, let's turn it around. Let's open up and let's have a look at the CO2 tube. Let's see if we have any damage. Forgive the squeakiness. I'm limited to the size of the bench. Oh, I found a loose screw. Is this off of this? We'll see. Just a screw sitting on the bench. I don't see off the top of my head any screws missing, so there we go. So there's one screw we got to undo here in order to lift this cover to have a look at the tube. And that is a Phillips head screw. Oh, we'll look at the manual after. Okay. Let's go ahead and undo this. So I hope everybody's had a great week so far. Screw fell out of the ear. Out of my ear? Yeah, probably. Okay. There we go. There's a screw holding this closed. Andy Visley's here. Thanks for the button tour. No problem. Bring this a little closer. Okay. And here we go. There is the tube, the resistance, and it looks like it's in one piece. Is that lid going to stay open? No. It doesn't want to stay open on its own, so let's see if I can do some fan-dangling camera work here and show you the tube. There we are. So there is a CO2 tube, and upon visual inspection initially here, it doesn't look like there is any visible damage to it. So we're good. There we go. Yep, looks good to me on the initial view. Now apparently they're using a name brand tube. I know nothing about the brand names of these tubes, but and I don't see a brand name on it. So we'll have to see. Okay, so yeah, these are you can see the cooling lines coming in here. So these things are water cooled. Let me pull this cooling line out the back here. I may have to extend them a little depending on where I'm going to put that chiller. So yeah, all looks good in here. I can brighten that up a bit for you if you want to get a little better look at what's going on. There we go. That's cool. It's the first time I've ever seen one of these in real life. No, no touchy. I wouldn't touch it, no. So here, I'm going to light it up, and I'll bring the camera in again and give you a close look at it. So the laser comes out this end of the tube, and you can see there's a mirror, the first mirror there that reflects the laser onto the other mirror that reflects the laser. Then it reflects the laser onto the laser end, and it looks like they got a little bit of, oh, that light's bright, but it looks like you can see the green. I think that's a little bit of, I think that's antifreeze or something that they probably had running in it to test it. And we'll just go down the length of the tube here. Oh, I got my tripod's kind of in the way here. There we go. Go down the whole length of the tube, and there's the input for the water cooling right there. And if I'm not mistaken, the output for the water cooling is right up front here underneath. So that is where the warmed up water would come out to go back into the chiller. So that's pretty cool. That looks pretty intimidating a little bit, but hey, it's just a tube that sits in the back and creates a laser at a specific wavelength of light for us. There we go. So let me gently close that. And we'll switch over here so I don't make you too dizzy. There we go. There we go. Cool. Somebody just said don't touch it, and I don't know if touching it's going to hurt anything. I come from the old school where you have the what are those bulbs called, where you don't want to touch the bulbs. Even headlights in your car, you don't want to touch those because you get oils from your finger on it. I don't know. It's a freaking laser, exactly. Well, you're not going to touch it when it's running, obviously. So we'll have to see once we get things going and I get things in position if these tubes are going to reach down to the chiller or if I'm going to have to extend these tubes. It's possible I'll have to extend those. So let's go ahead and turn it over and we'll take a look under the hood of the electronics here and see what we've got. So a couple other things that make this the Pro version is, number one, the air assist that comes with it is a Pro version feature. Number two is, and these aren't necessarily in order, it does have the linear rail, of course. The linear rails is an upgrade from the older version I've seen. And also they've changed the actual laser head. The ones that I've been watching, the older version of the laser heads, have a silver color laser head or a metallic color. This is a blue laser head. I'm probably going to get rid of some of that excess grease on that linear rail, but I'm not going to overly worry about it right now. But yeah, and then you can see in the back here, there's an exhaust duct that's going to suck in all the smoke from the burning out to the back exhaust. I'm probably going to remove the exhausting fan they've got on here because the other fan that I'm using is, and I've showed you in other videos, I have a massive blower up over here that does a lot of good suction of the air, and I don't know if it's a good idea to have a little fan in line with that big blower. So yeah, the grease from everything will get on the glass and could create a hot spot and break the glass. That's possible, yeah. I just figure, why tempt fate? I don't need to touch the glass, so I'm not going to touch the glass. So I'm going to bring this camera over here. We're going to open the electronics bay and have a look inside there. Let me just get this wiring worked out. Here we go. And there. Okay, so I got a screw to undo here. Whoops. From what I've seen, I'm gonna enjoy cutting acrylic with this laser. That's one thing. Apparently, clear acrylic. I know there's some people that can cut acrylic on diode lasers, but apparently clear acrylic is not cuttable on the diode laser unless you tape it or paper it or paint it or something. But on this one, you can cut right through clear acrylic. So let's lift the electronics board here, the electronics compartment. Let's see if I am getting in there for you. And let's see what kind of a view we can give you from inside here. Okay, I'm going to have to pick this up and kind of give you a bird's eye view. Okay, so there's our power supply, which is also our main board and power supply. Oh no, sorry, that's probably our main board and power supply tied into one. This looks like it is the air assist pump right here. And there's a little 5-volt power supply, which is supplying power to the air pump. And oh, there's our main board right here. I'm a little upside down, but that is the main board right here. It's light burn compatible. All the wires are glued into place so they didn't fall out during shipping, which is good to see. It looks like we have a Wi-Fi connection right here, network connection on there. So I don't know if this is a name brand power supply or what's going on, but that's fine. And then we have, it looks like a grounding wire going from here to the back of the frame. And then of course we have our various, oh, that's just a network wire going to the, oh, that's connecting the ammeter on top. That's a network wire going to the ammeter. Okay, I see a cable like this and I think network automatically, so. But this will connect to my laptop via USB, which is right on the side here, USB-C. Will connect right to my laptop to be able to run light burn with this. So there we go. Now there is room in here should I choose. This, as I say, this is the little air assist pump they have here. I don't know how much pressure that puts out as an air assist pump, but there's a lot of room in here should I choose to put a bigger air assist pump in. Power supply for the pump, a lot of room to put it in, so we'll see. I don't want to have to upgrade anything on this at all if I don't have to. As I say, this is probably going to be used. I will be doing some cutting of wood, engraving of wood, but a majority of the work on this will probably be in the acrylics and other materials that are more difficult to do on a diode laser. So there we go. Whoops. Let me switch back over to this guy. There we go. When you get a chance, look at the output end of the laser. Not sure if there was something weird. I say near the bottom side of the tube. Okay, I'll have a look again. I shall have a look again for sure. Actually, I'll leave this camera here, and I will just go around. I'll just walk around the back, and we'll look at it that way. Okay. Seems to have different size legs on this thing. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I'll have a look around the back and we'll see if there's something weird there that you noticed that I didn't notice. In the meantime, let me just have a quick look through this manual. We're going to take some paper off, some covers. Okay. So let's come around and have a look at the back here. There we go. I'm going to walk around the bench rather than try and turn it around on the bench. This is where I need to have that lazy Susan I had before. Okay. I got some foam and stuff on the way here. Okay, so here we're looking at, okay, so this is a power supply in the back here. This is a power supply for the water pump so that the water pump actually turns on when we power the laser up. Here's a ground wire joint. We don't have to worry about that in North America. We have a ground wire built into our plugs. I don't have to worry about grounding that. Here is an input hole for just to, I guess, if I want to have an external air pump or something, I can run a hose in through there. This is the fan that's going to vent the printer out. I will likely take this fan out and just use my duct and let my big fan do the work, do all the work. And then if we open this up again, let's go ahead and switch the camera to that output thing and see if you saw anything that you thought might be of concern. Okay, bear with me for the camera here. I'm just going to switch the cameras and we're going to do a view of this tube. Temperature at the laser's focal point can easily exceed 5,000 Celsius. Holy crap. Seriously, nice. That's hot. Okay, we're going to switch to this. Now forgive the shaky camera work for a minute. We're going to basically get this in so we can have a look back here and see if you see anything wonky. So here is that end of the tube. I'm not sure what the brown is. The green, I'm assuming, is like an antifreeze liquid that was in there at one point. It looks like there's a power thing there. I honestly do not know how these things work. That looks like a temperature. That looks like a thermistor to tell us the temperature of the water coming out of the laser. And I don't see that this one going in, but yeah, that looks like a thermistor to me there. Yeah. So I think I'm giving you the view you need to see what you were looking for. There we go. Okay, whoops. Let me switch this back over. There we go. Brown is poop. Go past the black ring. Okay, let me just have a look and see what black ring you mean. Past the black ring. Let's just switch this over again. Okay. Oh. You mean right there. You mean that big crack right there? Oh. Okay. Right there. So there was shipping damage. That is cracked. Okay. Well, I'm glad we saw that. UPS did reach out to me, told me if there's any damage to the unit to put in a claim. I will reach out to Monport, and I will also reach out to UPS and mention that, because obviously we don't want to turn that on. Okay. Well, there we go. Let me get back over to the other side here. I'm glad you guys have the eagle eyes. I didn't look close enough and inspect that close enough. That's why I like doing this stuff. That is why I like doing this stuff live. Because I have, in this case, I have like 40, 50 sets of eyes looking at it. So, yeah, so it is cracked. Okay, well, I'll continue with the other preparation stuff. I'm assuming then what will happen here, because those tubes are not cheap. So I'm hoping that either UPS is going to, I gotta see what's going to happen between Monport and UPS as far as, because I need a new tube, obviously. So that broken tube is not my doing. I am guessing based on the way, I don't know if you guys all saw the video, it's on my X account. You'll see the video, the way that the UPS driver literally took the box and he almost tossed it onto my concrete step. So, yeah. Yep. Yes, good job, 3D Medic Vince. Good job pointing that out. That is one of the main other reasons I do stuff live, because you know what? I might have missed that, fired up the cooler and had a leak and a mess all over the place. So, but now I know to inspect these things a little bit closer, right? So, yeah, it happens. It happens. So, what I'll do in the meantime is we're going to pop off this little cover in here. There's 4 little screws holding it in, and we're going to remove the paper that's on top of this so that we have a clear cover. You had to go back, review it. It didn't look right. Yeah, no, that's a good catch. That's going to delay my testing a little bit, but hey, it's not going to delay me continuing the unboxing here. So I'm going to basically, what I'm going to do here is there's a couple packing things that got to be removed. So let's bring this other camera back over. And we're going to just move this. So it's kind of like this. And then just kind of like this. There we go. That way you guys can see what mischievous things I'm up to. I'm just going to remove these 4 screws so that I can get this panel off and pull off the paper backing that's on that panel. And if I was a betting man, I'd say those are about 7 millimeters. Let's see. Oh, good thing I'm a betting man. Nice little set, by the way. Yeah, it's too bad, but you know what? These things happen. Okay, let's pull these off. I don't know how complicated it is to replace. I'm going to have to see. And I know there's videos out there of how to replace them. You can buy tubes. The tubes do have a lifespan. So you can buy the new tubes to replace. I don't know how complicated. I will watch some videos, but I'll end up having to replace it. And hey, we'll do a video on how to replace these tubes. So, or a live stream on it. It's oops instead of UPS. There you go. But yeah, if you want to see what happened to it, check out my X account. And there is a video on there that tags Monport and UPS in this. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I have not mentioned, don't forget, pinned in chat and down in the description of the video, go ahead and enter to win a roll of Polymaker Filament. Please, go ahead. It's fun to give away stuff, courtesy of Polymaker, partners of DWIT 3D Canada. When adding water, I would have realized it. Yeah, absolutely, Jerry. I would have heard dripping. Okay, so we'll pop this off. We're just going to pull this paper off. Okay, I'm taking bets as to whether I can get this off in one piece. Don't bet for me. Bet against me. Trust me, I've done this many times at my sign company, and it's not a one piece. It's doable, but we'll see. I could be wrong. Oh, it's still one. Oh, no, not one piece. I guess I could have if I go a little slower, but hey. I'm going to switch this back over here so we can do this like this. Was it UPS or FedEx that did the tri-bent? I don't know. This was UPS for sure. I have fortunately my doorbell camera caught the whole fiasco. So, and believe me, I handled the box with baby gloves when I got it in the house. Because I read the messages all over the box. It said breakable, fragile, handle with care, glass. But then again, this thing came from Ontario, so it shipped across the country. Who knows how many different hands it went through and how many times it got thrown. But the point is, it doesn't matter. It was in the care of UPS, and they don't want the bad publicity. I will give them credit. They did. Oh, come on. This is why you should never chew your fingernails. Always keep your fingernails relatively there. Helps in cases like this. UPS did reach out to me based on my X post. So, and I have a contact there, and I was told if there's an issue to contact them, and they'll put a claim in for me. So there we go. So there, yeah, so he's changed it, yeah. So you do have, I don't think they're hard to change. I really don't. I think there's a couple clamps that clamp them in, and it's not like I have to worry about, and then there's probably a plug-in to plug in the electronics, etc., etc. This is like watching paint dry, watching me do this, isn't it? I've done some of these that come off in one piece, and then you have the ones like this that are just stubborn. Oh, and I got to show you what I finished last week, too. That's another story. This is all about the Pew Pew. Okay. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Picked up a bunch of ambrosia filament from West 3D today, 20% off. Cool. Gotta like deals on filament. This is where I need some funky background music. Now, Jerry, that software you're using, I've got the free account. I'm just looking into. I just haven't had a chance to play with it much this week, but and I believe it's called Evmux or Evmux. They have music onto there, like they have background music, and I'm wondering, would that be royalty-free stuff, or is it a case where you have to actually give credit again, or would you get struck for that? I'm curious if you've used that music on there. It's a nice looking software, and I'm definitely probably going to use it. I just have to take the time to set it up. It's got some nice features in it I like. It's actually got some more features that I like that are not in StreamYard. Okay. If you're watching this video after the fact, trust me, fast forward through all this. You probably have already. This is where you make a video from a live stream and you use the fast forward feature. I think there's more of a delay tonight than there was last week too. There we go. Okay, we got all that junk off. So I'm just going to put this back on. Now we'll be able to see what we're lasering. Had not used it. Do you mean countdown timer music? No, they had countdown timers, and then they had also there was a section in there where I saw background music. They had a few different tracks, 3-4 minutes long, of background music that you could choose. But I once bitten, twice shy, right? It's, I've used royalty-free, quote-unquote royalty-free music in the background that I've gotten from Adobe, et cetera, but it always tends to trigger a copyright strike or something, or a warning or something. It doesn't demonetize, but it takes away the monetization of that particular video. Or it's not a strike, I'm sorry, it just demonetizes your video. Okay. I don't even know how many people we have watching tonight so far. It looks like 40-something people. Don't forget, enter the Polymaker draw if you want to win some filament. Congratulations again to last week's winner. I actually knew the guy. He was a local guy. The guy that won last week. Very local. Okay, there's that glass put back on. So the only other thing I'm going to take off here is inside we have some, this blue stuff comes off. So we're going to unscrew these. This is now, I believe if I'm correct, I take this off and underneath there's a little clamping system. And this is, I believe, the burn area right here, 8x12. You can apparently get a larger burn area by removing this ducting here and a couple things, but I'm just going to stick with factory settings for now. Oh yeah, I didn't point out as well, we have a drag chain in here. I know that the older version of this did not have a drag chain, so that's another feature. Mark says, thought my tube looked cracked. Yeah, you know what? The more eyes on this stuff, the better. And I'm glad that you guys are here, and I'm glad that you guys pointed that out. And as Jerry said, I would have quickly realized that when filling the tube with water. Because it's a pretty good crack. It's a pretty big crack. Appeal them and say it was free, problem never overturned. Yeah, I did appeal them actually, Jerry. The Adobe ones, I should mention, I did appeal them, and they basically said, okay, forget it. Excuse me, guys. Sneeze. Okay, so unscrew this last one, and then there's the big one to take off as well. So this pops out. And there, underneath here, you have like a spring clamp. Why are you not focusing? Yeah, so you have a spring clamp, so you could take let's just say a piece of whatever that you might want to do, a piece of material, and you can actually clamp it in there for lasering or cutting or whatever. And then there's also been some modifications. Some people have taken this whole bed system out, and they're using a little oh, what do you call it? I have one over here actually, and I thought, am I ever going to get a use out of this thing? And hey, maybe I will now. But it's one of these little guys here. I keep forgetting I don't have my microphone on me. One of these little scissor lift things. Whoa. Come on. There we go. Screw Jack. What did Jack ever do to you? Yeah, one of these little guys, little scissor lift. This could be used in here as well for bigger, thicker materials for aligning the focus and stuff. So that's a possibility too, is just getting rid of that and using this guy in there. So I've had this for a long time. I picked this up at one of those Amazon clearance places for like $5. I think it was like $5. These things are expensive if you buy them. But yeah, that might come in handy for this particular laser. I mean, how lucky is that? So, exactly, Andrew. Who's Jack and why are you telling him to screw it? So we're going to pull this. This should come off much easier than the paper did, which of course it is. This is one of those satisfying pulls. There we go. So there's our silver plate. And then inside, I believe, am I going to want to, yeah, I'm going to want to unscrew this other blue plate. It'll be a lot easier to get that out and get the blue off of that plate as well. And it'll give us a little bit of a look underneath. I think I'm going to need, oh no, this screwdriver fits in there. So I think I'm going to need a shorter screwdriver to get back here. This worked okay. Whoops. So I did, oh, that's tight. I did send the link to Monport for this stream. I did tell them that it was going to be a live unboxing. So if you're watching now or after the fact Monport, you will notice, obviously, by now that we do have a cracked tube. I will be contacting UPS about that because I do believe it was damaged in shipping. So how that's going to be handled as far as getting a replacement tube, I don't know. But we'll just have to take it as it comes. Oh, the whole bottom piece falls out. I see. Okay. What is this? Oh, maybe this piece is not going to lift out. Okay, so hang on a second. Well, there must be more screws underneath in here. Back underneath here, because this is not this blue piece. Oh, or is it going to lift out? Oh no, there's one. I'm obviously missing a screw under this fan. I am. There's a screw under this fan port that I can't directly get at. So I will attempt to pull this blue film off. How do I get at that one under the fan port? This fan port can be removed, and I believe it can be removed from the back. Let me have a quick peek. Let's have a look under here on the back side. No, it's going to be under where the tube is. I don't want to necessarily take this whole thing apart. But, okay, let's get this screw out of there. Yeah, so you see this clamping system is just sort of screwed in under this, and I know a lot of people take this out, but I'm going to leave it in at the moment, but I just want to get this blue packing material off of here. So let's see if I can kind of fidget my way around and get this off the hard way instead of the easy way. Let's just see what happens here. Ooh, that's sharp. That's got a really sharp edge on it right there. Be careful if you get one of these and you work around there. That's super sharp. Mind you, you're not going to be putting your fingers back there often anyway, so. Okay. Let's see. Okay. not going to come off super easy. I may end up trying to pop that off after all to get back in underneath it to get this blue protective cover taken off. Okay. Yeah, Jared used a peanut grinder to cut air duct down and remove the fan. Yeah. I may end up removing it altogether because, as I say, that fan that I have is powerful. It's very powerful. And I may not need this, but I got to get in underneath in the back. Oh, it's where the fan is. So if I remove the fan, I could probably get at the 2 screws under here to remove that. That might just be what I'm going to do. In the meantime, this will come off pretty easy now from here. There we go, but there is still some residue in the back I'm going to need to remove. So for now, I'll just put these 2 screws back in to hold this guy up. If I can align the screw holes. There we are. Okay. That. Hey, my arm is dragging and dropping on the grease on the linear rail. Ugh. Grease is the word that you heard. There we go. Got that back in place. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, good. That's another thing on the older ones. They did not have a safety switch on the covers so that when you could open the cover without disabling your laser. That is definitely a must to have on any laser device. So, okay, let's turn this around. Let's open the back where the duct is. As I say, because we're going to take that duct out anyways. We're going to be 3D printing a 3-way. There we are. We're going to be 3D printing a 3-way duct that I can basically share with the fiber laser we have. Not the fiber. Diode laser. I keep calling it a fiber laser. I think that's because I wish I had a fiber laser. Oh, I forgot to put 1 screw in. Hang on. I forgot to put a screw in inside. I can't forget the screw inside, although my hole's way out of alignment, so we'll fix that after. This screw was loose. It's always a good idea to check screws, I guess, after shipping, especially if your product has been damaged. But always ventilate your lasers outside. Now, I'm sure that in some cases, this little fan that came with it is probably sufficient. Actually, it's a bigger fan than I thought. If you look at it, that's actually a much bigger fan than I thought. Look at that. That's way bigger than I thought. And now, where does that power is going to go? That's going up through there. We'll just have to disconnect the fan from the other end. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, as you know, I have a, if you look, the fan that I'm using that's going to be venting this thing, here, let me show you, is this guy here. This is a very powerful fan for venting. That's what I'm using right now for the diode laser. Do you think if I'm using that fan, do you think I need, or would it hinder the flow of that air to leave this fan in the machine? What do you guys think? You cut the duct where the shadow is. Oh, I see, yeah. But should I keep both fans in there? Or is this, see, because this fan's going to be turning to exhaust, but then again, the other fan's also going to be sucking to exhaust. Remove the little one, there will be a restriction. Ah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, good advice. So we'll just remove this while we're here, because again, I have to tie into the ducting system I have. And this little fan could be used for something else. You never know. Then I just got to go underneath and figure out where it's plugged in. And we'll run the wire so we don't have to cut any wires, any permanent damage to them. Oh, we got nuts on the other side of this too. So let's just get this off. And the other thing I'll probably do is put a little bit of foam tape around the outside of this so that when the duct is in there, it's all sealed nicely, so we don't have any seepage into the room. Okay. Now, everything I'm doing right here is not, these are not necessary steps. If you've purchased a laser similar to this and you just want to use it right out of the box, these are not necessary steps. This I'm doing just because I have a different ducting system than they're using here. Okay, I'm going to run around here. And I'm going to see, actually I'm going to run right around. Well, hang on, while I do this, now that I think about it, let me see if this thing's charged at all. Let me see if my other mic is charged so I can put my lavalier microphone on for you guys. Okay, the receiver's fully charged. Transmitter, come on. Oh yeah, looks like we have about 3/4 of a charge here. Okay, I'm just going to switch over to this microphone. Bear with me 1 second. Here and audio. And this one. And okay. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now? Let me see if this is working. Audio might be a little bit better right now. Tim just likes taking things apart. I do. Okay, there we go. How's the audio now? Pretty good? Good. Now I can walk around and you won't lose me. Okay, so now I just need to find where that fan wire is coming from. So here, now that fan, if I just kind of yank on it, it is right here, going into here. I'm going to have to use a tracer, ain't I? Or something. I mean, I could just cut it. It's that black one there. It's 2 black ones. Oh, they splice into a red one. Oh, they've spliced it here, okay. So they've actually spliced it in here. You can't see it, but there's 2 black wires going in here, and then it's spliced in here to a black and a red wire, and it is coming out. It is, yeah, I think I'm going to be better off. Just to nip those wires. I can always fix them if need be. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to nip these wires. Just sort of up shortly. I don't need to really worry about having to run them again. So we're going to actually do that because, as I say, we're not going to use this fan, but I want to keep enough wire to, there we go, keep this fan as a usable fan. That's a nice little fan. What is it? 12 volt, 24 volt, 110 volt fan. Wow. That is quite the powerful fan, 110 volts. Look at that. Okay, so we did that. Now I'm going to see if I can get that ducting off, which is just going to be 4 screws right here. Or is it just the 2? No, it's 4 screws that are holding that duct inside. Just snip it, close, and leave it. Yes. What we did. So we'll get this ducting off so we can get the rest of that blue. I don't even know if I need this ducting on here, as I say, because that fan I'm using has quite a bit of suction. Let's just see. Let's just see. But I want to get the rest of that packing off of here anyways. Okay. 2. Just going to bring this camera around here so we can all watch what's going on over here. Okay. And there we are. Okay, I'll switch back over to that one. So really what I'm doing right now is removing this fan duct. Or not even a duct, I'd call it it's like a suctioneer. I'll probably end up putting it back on, but we'll see. We'll see. I got to get under it anyways. Take all that paper off. And again, a lot of the videos I've seen people that have just left this off, which is perfectly acceptable as well. Okay. Screw's not quite loose enough. There we go. That should do it. Come on. Ah, come on. I just dropped. Okay. Man, that screw feels like it's cross-threaded in there. Yeah, I think it is. There we go. That should do it. There we go. Ah, there, okay. So I don't necessarily have to put that back on because basically that other one's going to have enough suction to pull the air through here. So we may leave that off, but we can get the rest of this paper off, the rest of this plastic off. There we go. Then I can put this screw back in, which is way out of alignment. So the little threaded hole underneath has come way out of alignment on there. Let's see if I can get that back in. Oh wow, it's bent. That's why that screw is so hard to get out, is because that piece is like bent over. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to pop this bottom plate off and see if I can't straighten that pin out. And again, as I say, you can run without this bottom plate, period, especially if I'm using that scissor lift. Yeah, those are all, there's little posts that are that it's screwing into, and all those little posts are kind of a little bit out of alignment. But since we got a broken tube and can't do much else with it, we may as well take it apart and have a look at it. See what makes this thing tick on the inside, right? Right. Will it be needed as safety if it's not connected? Will it not work? No, it'll work. It'll work. As Jerry said, I have a much bigger, better blower fan, a bigger, better suction fan that will definitely air out the laser. Audio was better before? Seriously? Hello, hello. My bad. My bad. You watch, I'll get an email from Monport saying, we don't want you taking our laser right apart on your first initial review. This whole thing comes out. There we go. So now you can see basically the that bottom table just sits on these pegs, which is fine. And then there's a tray on the bottom. Oh, there's a tray on the bottom that obviously to catch stuff coming out. Oh, okay, so that tray, when this is sitting up properly, this tray will come out. I imagine that tray is going to come out to empty because that's where all the debris is going to fall. So there we go. So these things, that needed to be pulled over a little bit that way. This one needed to be pushed over a little bit that way. And same with this one on the end here. These are long, so they're susceptible to bending and stuff, so you could turn it on and see what 30 kilovolt does to a broken tube. Oh, thanks. No, I'm adventurous, but I'm not that adventurous. So I'm just gonna clean out the little blue yuckies that were in here, which is fine. So this is the that's the area. So that's, yeah, I'll put this back in. Oh, look at that. Look at all the cut marks on the backside of that. Look at the that's interesting, all these little cut marks on the backside. It's almost like they've taken a piece of scrap material, but what the heck, as long as it does what it's supposed to do. So I'll put this back in, being careful. There we go, and I just got to make sure that we're going to align with these pegs, which they're all kind of a little bent place. Let's bend that one in there. That one should be okay. This middle one should be okay there. This back one, these back two are way out to lunch. There we go. There, and one more back one here just to pull into position. I can live with that. There we go. That comment's funny. Turn it on and see what a broken tube does. Okay. Yeah, much better, much better. And I think we're just going to leave this open. That'll vent, yeah, my fan will vent this thing very well, so I'm not worried about that. Pull this one over a little bit more here. There we go. You over, okay. Yeah, the exhaust fan, the fan I have is made for a grow op tent. It is it's a variable. It's got 10 speeds to it, and it gets pretty loud when it's up and running. And when I'm burning on my S10 XTool, I don't smell a thing. So it exhausts extremely well. So it'll be fine for this. Leak coolant all over the place. If I turned it on, yeah. The other thing, actually, in my research that I found out, and I learned this from a very reputable source. A lot of you know this guy. His name is Rich, better known as Louisiana Hobby Guy. He says that for cooling off these tubes, if you put a couple drops of dish soap in the cooling water, it prevents bubbling on the side of your tube. It basically prevents bubbles. So that is one piece of advice I'll be taking, because he knows his stuff. He is the master of lasers, period. There we go. So now the other piece, which I put right here, will go right in here. And I don't even think I'm even going to bother screwing that in, because I'm sure this is a piece that I'm going to want to be taking out and in on a regular basis anyways, depending on what it is that I'm going to be lasering. So there we go. That is taken care of. So we'll come back to the back side here. I think for now I'm going to leave this off. And what I'll do to help improve things here is when I put this back on, which is going to be like so, I might not need it. I may put very thin piece of foam around here, around the edges, to seal it a little better. Not that it's going to be an issue, but we'll see if I start smelling anything in the studio. But that's an option I can do. For now, we'll just screw this back into its place. Oops. Use the right size screws, Tim. I think it's these ones. That's better. Which is better. Whoops. Yeah, and I'm going to have to plug up these little holes where the fan screwed in, so we don't get any leakage out of those, but that's not a big deal. What I am more curious about at this point in time is how difficult or easy it's going to be to put a new tube in. That's disappointing. You know, it's disappointing, but it's not like I'm going to stew over it, because shipment happens. Shipment happens. Okay, so we close this, close the electronics panel. Let's pop this open real quick again. So it looks like, to replace these things, it looks like, I'm not sure where the electronics go to down there. But to me, it looks like there's a clamp here, a clamp here. The water tube will have to be probably heated up and put on. I don't know if it comes with the tubes on it already. I don't know that. But we're going to have to see. But yeah, right there is that is cracked very bad. Like, I mean, it is big time cracked. So thank you, UPS. Oh. Okay. What else do we have to do to this? Do I give a ship? I don't give a ship. They go over aligning your laser beam in here if your beam happens to be out of alignment because of shipping issues, like people dropping the freaking box. So that's another thing we'll have to check, is for laser alignment. They go through in here about connecting it to Lightburn. It should be a seamless connection right through to Lightburn. Plug it in. Lightburn is going to recognize it right away. I used to use distilled water from Walmart baby section with a few capfuls of bleach to add to algae the side for the fish tanks to keep water fresh. You might use something special for the chiller. Yeah, I'll be using distilled water for sure. I'm going to do a bit more research on, I do like Rich's idea of just a few drops of dish soap and perhaps another additive to keep the water from going stale. Yes. We have a fish tank upstairs with the thing that keeps the water. Anyway, who knows, right? The thing is, and this is actually the CW3000. It does not actually have a chilling unit in it. This has a radiator that the water flows around that probably brings the water back to close around room temperature and comes in here. It's not an actual industrial chiller. It's called a chiller, but it's more so a water cooler, per se. Yeah, the rest of the setup, as far as the rest of the setup goes for this, it looks like it's just a matter of, they talk about principles of engraving, plastics, rubber, materials, setting up your Lightburn, and then it has in the back, it has a few maintenance tips, positioning your mirrors, and then it talks about correct angle, vertical, it talks about adjusting your mirrors right from the laser, the end of the laser tube and on. And I've watched some videos on adjusting the laser as well, and it doesn't seem too difficult to do. You know, regular maintenance, clean the mirrors and lens daily. Now, apparently with the fan, you don't necessarily, and the air assist, you don't necessarily have to do that as often because the air assist blows the soot and everything away from your main mirror. But replace the water in the tank weekly, makes sense. Clean the water pump and water tank weekly, clean the guide rails bi-weekly, periodically inspect the path alignment, etc., etc., etc. Your standard maintenance stuff here. So, whoops. I don't want to drop all these parts. But there's not much I can do with this now until we actually get that tube looked at, that tube issue resolved. I don't know how long that'll take. I don't know whether they will just send me a new tube right away. And if they do, I hope they don't ship it by UPS. That's just ridiculous. And so we got to get the new tube in. And in the meantime, we have the ducting to take care of. So we have the 4-inch duct coming out of this. I'll probably, maybe I'll use this one here. This should be fine. We only have the one clamp, which is okay. I got to check and see. I think it's 4-inch ducting that's coming out of the back of the XTool S1. As well. So I'll show you what I've done back here. Will this camera reach back here? I want to show you guys what I've done back here and what I'm going to do. I don't know. Oh yeah, this camera will reach back here. Of course it will. But will you be able to see anything? That's the question. No, I don't think you will. But hang on. I'm just going to, you guys are going to see me do something stupid here. You watch. Pay attention. Pay attention. Ready? Visit your toothbrush twice a year and yeah. So here, let's see if this is going to give any light on the situation, what I've done back here. So we have the ducting. Okay, hang on a sec. Come on, wires, cooperate with me. There we go. Did I lose everything here? No. So back here, we have the ducting coming out of the S1 here. And there's a little adapter I've made. Hang on back here. Let's see if I can find that. It's right there. Hang on. It's just tight back here because this is such a big laser. Here we go. There we go. There, it's up and about now. So I have made, there we go. So I made that adapter. I don't remember, this is either 3 or 4 inch. I think this might be 3-inch. Made to the 6-inch adapter, which goes up, which goes out, and outside of that window. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Y split. I got to replace this with Surelight. There we go. I'm going to replace that piece with a splitter, one that's going to my XTool, and then one that's going to the CO2. So this looks like a 3-inch, and the CO2 is a 4-inch. So I'm going to have to do I'm probably going to do one that's boom, and then I have a 4-inch coming out this way. But then I also want to come up with something where I can block off, really good light switch, huh? Where I can block this one off when I'm using the CO2, and I can block the CO2 off when I'm using this one. Because if I have to split the pressure of this fan between the two without blocking them off, I think that'll lessen the effect of the suction. So yeah, that's what we've done there. Come on, get back over. There you go. That's my plan for that. And I think I'm going to design and 3D print that piece. I just don't know how I'm going to block off, how I'm going to shut off one or the other. That's what I've got to figure out. Hey, Cliff D. No, that's 4-inch. Let me just see. No, that's 3-inch going to the, that is 3-inch going to the XTool. There's a 4-inch one coming from the CO2. So that's definitely 3-inch. You know, There's so many different ways I could do this. But, so we're going to have a 6, a 4, and a 3. Yeah. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get that done. Harbor Freight has a Harbor. I wish we had a Harbor Freight here. I should check. We don't have Harbor Freight, but we have a thing called Princess Auto, which is probably similar to Harbor Freight. There's the power cord for this. I don't want to lose that. That's the silicone. That's the USB cable. We're plugging in this. I'm going to run this one off my laptop. I have a laptop. I'm not using it for anything right now. I'm going to use that. So blast gates. That's what they're called. Yeah, with blast gates. Y valve splitter. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. And now that I have to wait for a new tube, I'm obviously going to have time to sit and figure that out. So yeah. So we'll see. Princess Auto might have that. I mean, you know, it's going to be easier to buy one with blast gates, or you know, those gates, than it is going to be for me to design something like that, because you know, might just be easier if you can buy it and it's a relatively decent price, then why not buy it? So just going to put all the components that came with this up here. I don't know what this blue piece is for, other than they did say that it included some test pieces, so I guess that's the included test piece. But I do have some other clear acrylic pieces over here that I can use to do some testing. Here's all the screws from taking the fan and the ducting out. I will put all those in my magnetic tray over here. There we go. There's the clamp that came with it, so that's 4-inch, so we're going to have to deal with that. There is the instruction manual. Yeah, and so plan is that that's going to go here. Let me just see if my, oops, did I switch cameras by chance? There we go. Let me see if my plans are going to work. We're going to do a Polymaker draw pretty soon, guys, so make sure you're entered in the draw. Top of the chat or in the description, there is a link to enter the Polymaker draw if you want to win a fabulous prize. Tell them about the fabulous prize, Bob. Oh, I will. No. Enter the Polymaker draw. Lee Valley, okay. Whereabouts are you, Tuxedo? I'm curious. Lee Valley. We have a Lee Valley here, I believe, in the fine city of Calgary. So this guy sits at 32 inches wide, right here. That'll give me about 1.5 inches between this laser and the CO2 laser, which is perfect. And I just put the chiller on the floor beside it over here. Actually, I could put a little table for the chiller, so I don't have to extend those water tubes at all. Montreal, okay, that's right. So there's a store in Calgary, Lee Valley. I will check it. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know exactly where Lee Valley is. I will check that out for sure. I keep forgetting that you're in Montreal. I keep forgetting all my fellow Canadians. You're in Montreal. There's another, you've probably heard of Pez Liz. She's in Montreal as well. Or in Quebec somewhere. So, there we go. I'm going to get ready to do a draw in about 6 minutes. So you have 6 minutes to go ahead at the top of the chat and enter the giveaway, the Polymaker giveaway. But yeah, I can't give any impressions on this at the moment. The broken tube is not Monport's fault. And yeah, but the next steps in this, as I say, the next steps are to get the exhaust all taken care of on this. We've modified the inside a little bit so that we can do that. I'm just curious though, is this little piece that comes out? I just want to measure this. Oh man, keep some fingernails. Is this the 8x12 piece? No, that's 9 by 6.5. So that's just the piece that covers up that one hole. But yeah, you have an 8x12 area. It just seems like it's a little bigger than 8x12 when you move the laser back and forth before it hits its end stops. It seems like you're actually able to get bigger than 8x12 out of this. So we'll see. We will see when the time comes. But as I say, yes, none of the issues is Monoport's fault. It's all shipping. So next thing is to get that exhaust thing hooked up. Once we get that taken care of, we have the water taken care of. We just got to get some distilled water. And hopefully, I'm not going to hold my breath that I get that tube in for next weekend. But by the time I get the tube in, I should have the exhaust issue taken care of. I can just fix it all, taking care of it at this end. I can leave this on the bench, and then all I have to do when I move it over is hook up the ducting to the back of this, and we should be good to roll. So, broken laser tube. Yes, Tuxedo. It was, if you go check out my X video, with the video showing the UPS driver dropping this box at the front door of my house, you'll see why the tube broke. Yeah, you know, it said fragile, broken, breaking, breakable glass, blah, blah, on all sides of the box, and he just literally, poof, onto the porch without a care in the world because he doesn't give a crap. Yeah, so UPS shipping is brown for a reason. Yeah, it sure is, right? Anyways, that's okay. Disappointing, yes, but really, that said, all I could have done tonight was what we've done, theoretically, because I don't have any distilled water for the chiller yet, but you know, I at least could have, I don't know, at least could have put some regular water for now, but hey. Anyways, it happens. Click on that link. Oh, let me have a look at that link. Let me look at that link. Right there. What's that going to take me to? Are you sure you want to leave YouTube? No, I don't want to leave YouTube. Yeah, sure. What the heck? Go to site. Ah, there we go, Jerry. 4-inch integrated blast gate. Okay, I like that. Okay, 4-inch. So really what I could do is, so this is what Jerry's showing me. I'm going to also look at Lee Valley, but here, I'll show you what Jerry's just sent me. Actually, hang on. Let me go back to this and let me actually make sure. I got to switch displays here. Give me 1 second. I don't want the Hisense. I want this display. There we go. That's what Jerry's showing me, which is what I kind of need. What I kind of need, blast gates, integrated blast gates. So that's exactly what I need, Jerry. Thank you. I will need, probably get a 3-inch maybe, but I do at least need, if I have to convert the XTool to a 4-inch, so be it. But look, that's exactly what I need right there. Right there. But one has to be a 4-inch and one has to be a 3-inch, and this has to go to a 6-inch. But 3D printing, we can always make our own stuff. Yeah, but that's exactly what I need, is that blast gate to limit the airflow from one device to the other. I like that. Thank you, Jerry. There we go. In USA, they're $16.99. On your page, $25. That's about right. $25.78 for Canada. Yeah. But I got, as I say, I got to get creative because we're going from a 6-inch blower to a 3-inch on the XTool to a 4-inch on the Monport. So we got to get a little bit creative, which is not a big deal. To print little adapters would be real easy, and then you get these little rubber gaskets in between. Yeah, it's all good. Check out Lee Valley, might be cheaper. Yeah, Lee Valley, let's see. Lee Valley, Calgary. Oh, let's have a look at their site and just see what they got. Lee Valley Tools. And we're going to look at blast gate. What do they actually call them? They actually call them a blast gate. Let's have a peek. Oh, come on. I just said search. Oh, you want me to type in the right spot. There we go. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, they're... Oh, well, did the Amazon one include two? 2-pack. And here's Lee Valley. This is a local thing here. And so, self-cleaning blast gates from $22.50. And this is an automatic blast gate, which we don't need. But yeah. Well, there's one right there. Oh, it's a 2.5-inch, 4-inch magnetic mountable. Oh, and there's an adapter, 4-inch magnetic coupling. Well, they have lots of stuff here. They have a lot of good stuff in here. Now, I could probably find that splitter, that duct splitter. I guess it would be called a duct splitter. Duct splitter? No. What would you call that? A duct duct? Y duct? No, I don't know what you would call it. Anyways, replacement Monport 40-watt CO2 tube is $160 US. Oh, holy crap. Well, I can't pay for that. So hopefully they're going to send me one, or UPS is going to cover the cost of that. Design the Y with the gates included and print it. Fewer opportunities for leaks. Yeah. It's getting the gates in because you want them to be kind of airtight. They don't have to be perfectly airtight, but as airtight as possible. You can find the splitter at Home Depot. Yeah. Yeah. There's one at the top that's only $8. Yeah, that was the size, I think. It was, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I saw that one for $8. I know there's 19 search results. Do I have to accept cookies? Oh, now you're not showing me anything for some reason. Oh, am I getting a text? Who's texting me? There we are. Oh, Russ just texted me that same thing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I shouldn't have to pay for that tube to be replaced. So Russ is on vacation. Oh, nice. Nice. The $8 one, yeah, $5.90. It's 2.5-inch blast gate for dust collection network. Yeah. I'm just curious, what would that would be called? A duct adapter. So let's see what they have. Not much. Vacuum adapter for Lock9 dust collection system, blah, blah, blah. I just don't know the proper search term to put in here for the different adapters. So if I were to go 3-inch or 3-inch, 4-inch duct. No, I'm just not doing the right search terms, but there's a few places to look at, which is good. It's good to know. And it's in stock at the Calgary store. Home Depot, you say? Let me have a quick look at that, then we're going to do a draw. And you called it a blast splitter. Stop. Allow while visiting site. That's fine. Oh, there's one. 4-inch, $14.98. And do. Okay, man. Okay, cookies are fine. I don't mind. You can feed me cookies. So there's a nice 4-inch gate right there at Home Depot, local, right here. I don't know if it's in store. That is my location. In stock. Let's see. No. So I just have to order it in, which is not a big deal. But yeah. Irrigation 3-inch, 4 to 3-inch reducer you can design and print easily. Oh yes, yeah, the 4 to 3-inch reducer is easy to print. I printed the 6 to 3 that I have here now. Real easy to print. It's quick. It's cheap. It's easy. But these gates, I'd rather buy these gates. So maybe I get 2 of these, or I use the ones that are on 2 for $25.75. Free delivery tomorrow. So either or. And these are 4-inch. Clog resistant. Sure, that's what you say now. That's what you say now. Yeah. or I get a couple of these, just exactly like that. So, but there's a lot of options. It's good. It's good to know there's a lot of options to do that. Yeah, the 4-inch gate at Home Depot is twice the price compared to Lee Valley. Yeah. Well, I got a lot of things to look at. That's great. I appreciate you guys pointing all those out to me. We'll get that all figured out. I have enough hosing and everything here, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, for now, I'm going to go close that draw. Let's see how many people have entered. Who's just waiting and itching? We have 30... Come on, move ad. 38 submissions. That's awesome. So we're going to close the draw. We're going to draw for some Polymaker right now. With a 6 to 3-inch reduction, is there concern about back pressure or anything? No. Right now I'm going 3-inch from the XTool laser to a 6-inch fan, and I have no problem. If I was going the other way, yes, probably. But going from 6-inch down, sucking from 3-inch into 6-inch, not a problem at all. I have never had an issue with any fumes in the studio, nothing. It's all worked out well. The only issue I've had with this whole setup is outside when we had a hailstorm last year. It just pegged my ducting to all the heck, and I had to get all new duct, 6-inch duct to run to the backyard again. So that's all in place now. That's all been fixed up. Yeah, hail doesn't like the ducting. It doesn't get along with hail. So there we go. Okay, we're going to close the draw, and we are going to get the names ready, and we're going to do a draw for some Polymaker. I know you've all been waiting. Okie doke. Let's just get this going, and we're going to download to an Excel spreadsheet. Had it backwards. Yeah, I think going large to small is going to be an issue. Small to large is not as much of an issue. Okay, we're downloading. We're downloading. Why is it not downloading so fast? Let's see if it finished downloading yet. And downloads. No, not quite. For some reason it's taking its time downloading. Huh. Let me refresh this page. There's all the entries. Download to Excel spreadsheet. Maybe the site's just slow. We'll give it a second. It's trying to download the names. Aluminum tape, yes. That's what I've got. If you've noticed, if you notice up top, aluminum tape sealing everything off on the duct that's going to the outside, and that kept everything, and that's been like that all winter, and we didn't have any problem with drafts coming in there. That aluminum tape works extremely well. So yeah, I agree with you there. Don't peg your duct. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Please say you can hear me now, whether it's crappy or not. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Can you hear me now? Well, guess my speaker's off. Well, as long as you can hear me now. Good. Okay, yeah, the battery died on this thing, and I guess I got to charge it for a little longer. I don't know. Something's going on. I'm hoping it's not a dead battery in that, because that's too expensive to have to replace. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, we are going to... wrong display. Wrong display. There we go. We are going to shuffle and spin. We're going to spin. There's all the wheel populated with all the entries. Tim is old school, going back to the moving picture days. That's embarrassing when that happens. When you know, I had that plugged in all week, ready for the stream, and man, oh man. Anyways, I'm just going to shuffle until somebody types in the word in chat. Types in the word Monport. Type the word Monport, and as soon as I see it, I'm stopping the shuffle and spinning. Come on, type the word Monport. Oh man, my finger's getting tired. Somebody type it. Oh, good. Phew, thank you. And we're going to spin for the win. Here we go. Lucky winner for today is... Dun, da, da, da. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, is it going to stop for you? Oh, I'm doing it right. 3D Printcraft UK. 3D Printcraft UK. Are you in chat? 3D Printcraft UK. Are you in chat? Mongoose. You guys are funny. Oh, man. 3D Printcraft UK. 3D Printcraft UK. You got to say something. Is he taggable? So close. Yeah, it gets so close on these ones. But we may have to respin. We have to see. No taggable? Okay, well, we're going to have to spin again. We're going to give him benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to give him until my phone says 643. There he is. There he is. DWIT, he is there. 3D Printcraft UK says, I am here, DWIT 3D Canada. So he is here. He is taggable. Great. Oh, I can't do that on here. I can't bring it on the screen, but he is there. Good. Congratulations, 3D Printcraft UK. I will be emailing you a link and a code tomorrow to claim your prize. Congratulations on winning the Polymaker draw tonight. Right on. Awesome. Cool. He is here. Who said no? Polar Ted. Who's Polar Ted? You guys are just having your own little conversation, aren't you? That's good, though. Okay. What else do we have to... Oh, let me show you guys one thing real quick before we actually wrap things up here. Hang on. I just got to make sure I get all these things over here cleared out. Okay, I got that done, and that's done. And one more thing I got to check here. And we're good. Okay, good. You're quite welcome. Thank you for being here and entering the draw. Thank you. Okay, I finished this last week just because we're a little off topic on the laser now because we're kind of on a hold with the laser until we get our start. But it's not the prettiest print, but it worked. There was a couple slicer issues, but look what we did. We actually ended up printing our serial print holder for the turtle. Yay! The box turtle BT311, and it is finished and ready to go. As I said, it's not the cleanest print. There was an issue with the slicer. There's supposed to be a red border around the whole thing, but I had an issue with the filament selection. I'll probably end up printing another one, but it printed really well, and the box turtle performed magnificently. But the funny thing is, and I've actually got my covers back on the side of the Voron, almost all. I have... And this is embarrassing. I have misplaced one of the covers for the Voron. I have misplaced the side cover. I see it right now. Oh my goodness. Do you know how long I've been looking for that side cover? Yesterday, and I'm just looking right over there right now. Oh my goodness. That is too funny. And look what's on top of the trident. Look what's on top of the trident. It's the other cover that I've been looking for my 2.4 Voron. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm just looking at the camera, telling you guys that I couldn't find the cover, and it's sitting right there behind the camera. And I looked for a good half hour through this whole studio yesterday. Oh my God. Well, at least now I know where it is. But hey, by the time this stream's over and by the time I go have something to eat and then come back downstairs, I'll forget where it is again, anyways. Ah, oh, shoot. Yeah, damn flat things, I tell you. So, yeah. But I think we're going to call it. Thank you guys for watching. Monport, if you're watching this, I will be getting in touch with you tomorrow, and I will also be getting in touch with the UPS contact that I had to lodge the complaint about the fact that, yes, they did break this machine upon delivery. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know if you guys are just going to send a tube, if I'm going to wait to get a claim in through UPS, which I fear could take a long time because they got to do their investigation. They're going to want to, I don't know what's involved in making a claim with UPS. I've never had that before. I don't even know if the shipment was insured and is able to make a claim. So, but until I get the tube, there's really not much more I can do to talk about this laser. So we will figure that out. We'll be in touch with them, and hopefully we get this resolved sooner than later so that we can get this up and running, because I'm excited to give it a try, and I'm sure some of you out there are excited to see how this thing works. So, yes. Find it when you're not looking for it. Hey, it's Tor. Have a good night. Thank you. I didn't say hi to you, hey, it's Tor, but hi, hey, it's Tor. Get on their case, Tim. Don't let up before they compensate you. No, God. I'll be compensated at one way or the other. I can't afford to put out $100 and some odd US dollars for a new tube. Not at this point in time anyway. So something's, if Monport wants me to continue with this and showing this off, this has got to be resolved one way or the other, whether it be through Monport or whether it be through UPS. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. Congratulations to, I'm terrible with remembering these names, but I do have the thing right here. Congratulations, 3D Printcraft UK, for winning the draw. That's what I meant to say. I should have just left his name up on the screen here, and that way I wouldn't have to, go through all the names to remember it. Check my text. I saw that Mark come in, and you did a link to Home Depot or something like that. Yeah, I will look into that. Thank you, everybody, for suggestions for the ducting and for the shut-off valves and everything for this stuff. And we'll get that all taken care of this week. Hopefully I'll get something in place, and we'll be 3D printing some adapters and yada, yada, yada. So thank you, guys. Anyways, listen, we're going to call it. And I appreciate you all being here. And we'll continue on this thing when we get the parts in. And in the meantime and in between time, if we have to wait a week or two, we'll figure out what we're going to do. We've got a lot of little projects on the go here. So there's always something to come on and laugh about and talk about and watch me screw up. So, okay. Until next time, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. I don't have an extra here yet. Hopefully next week I'm going to be on the new EVMUX streaming service, so we'll see. I'm going to try and get that all set up this week and get working on that, because I think Jerry's having a great time with it, and I think it's working well for him. So, hey, if it works, then I'm going to use it. So we'll talk to you guys next week. And I have to hit stop streaming.